just for the heck of it. Now, if you use the Magnum on the zombies, then of course what you get is head exploding. So we're gonna go ahead and where's the other one? Yeah, it's gonna be this way. Alright, time to explore this area of the mansion. Always watch your area. So I take it there's something behind here that I need to take a look at. And yes, there is. Some shotgun shells. So if this is a real mansion, then I would assume that this is an underground part that's not intended for normal visitors. It looks dingy enough. Well, at the same time. Yeah, I take it these are some underground assistants that got caught up. And that's it. Okay. What's eating you? And just to be sure I don't get caught off guard, So I know that's a thing. More green herbs to replace those I had to use. Ah, and this led to the other part. I can go back up here and get all those items I missed. I'm gonna make sure I cover all my I's, dot all my I's and cross my T's. Yeah, that's gone. Okay. Those are not shotgun shells, but those are our explosive rounds. And a battery. Now I can move the elevator in the courtyard. I ain't moving just yet. It doesn't seem to stop on this floor. So it's up and down on the floor, makes it visible, but not accessible. And in just a few steps, the mansion will be cleared. Just make sure that moves up closer to the top. The combat knife is just trash. Why did they even include that in a game if it's not going to be that useful? I'll never know. I guess just to troll players. They can have a last minute, a last weapon option in case we're out of bullets. character's movement are actually really awkward. Like when they're holding certain weapons or when they're going down the stairs, it's just really awkward. Alright, let's get the last of the items. Oops. Did I just miss a green herb? Yeah, I did. Alright. I think that's contained the Magnum round, which I already picked up. And this contains the ink ribbon. And there's the disc. MO disc. Modus operandi disc. Let's take a look at that. Looks like one of those really old and obsolete SAN discs. Or IO discs. This used to be a startup disc. Those type of discs that came out around the turn of the century. They were supposed to replace the floppy disk, but then the CD came out. That was actually, and then after that, the DVD. It outlived its usefulness. And you can see businesses using those type of discs, but for backups. But yeah, you can't compete with optical drives and optical memory. While waiting here, I'm going to tell you about something that happened. See, I used to work at an office supply store. And at this office supply store, you would get a discount on whatever that you would purchase. Well, as it turned out, they had a certain amount of items that they would put on clearance to make room for new items. And in this case, it was, for me, I think it was a disk drive, one of those IO disk drives. They put it really, really close on clearance because no one was really, it was, I guess it just really wasn't a popular or really successful brand. It wasn't really selling. So I got it for like really, really cheap. I mean, really cheap, below $10. And I used that along with my discount to essentially get it so low that I could essentially gotten it for free, meaning that when it also came with a mail-in rebate. If you know what mail-in rebates are, trust me, mail-in rebates are a pain in the ass. They take about 8 weeks for you to receive in the mail. But mail-in rebates are where you would, when you purchase an item, and you get the receipt, you would take the receipt of where you purchased the item, you would also then take the barcode on the back of the box that you ordered, that you purchased. Then you send both those items to the company, wait about 8 weeks, and then in return you receive the amount on a check form to cash in on what you rebated for. Well, anyways, when I paid really, really low price for this item, and it also came with a mail-in rebate. And with the mail-in rebate, had I was able to cash it in, I would have essentially gotten the item for fucking free. Well, that's what's supposed to happen. But as it turns out, the company decided that instead it was well within the time range of the mail-in rebate. But what the company decided to do is that instead of giving me the mail-in rebate, which I had both the receipt, I had the barcode, and it was dealt with definitely within the time limits of when it set it in, they decided to lose, quote unquote, the receipt instead that I had not mailed it in. They cheated me out of my mail-in rebate. Essentially, they would have lost money on the product, but since they were discontinuing it, that's not my problem. And it was part of the agreement, so they should have honored it, but they lost my receipt. And I knew, based upon how business operate, that even if you were to call in or if you were to dispute that loss, that you said you have a copy of the receipt, because they want the actual receipt, they don't want the copy, they want the actual receipt. They say, well, I'm sorry, but we no longer have it. So they kind of screwed me over the receipt, knowing that even if I did protest, they're not going to do anything. So what I decided to do was that I essentially decided to go, because I was also in the department that helps electronics. I decided to make them pay them back is by when the cover customers wanted to purchase products, because they had another line of products to sell within electronic items. Whenever they wanted to sell, buy like a CD drive or a disk drive, whatever that was on sale that they were selling, I would give them away to that. I would not promote that particular item. I would actually promote their competitors or higher price items just to pay in the back. And what they would have kept out of that mail-in rebate, they essentially lost about, I would say, 10 times that amount, if that. So, as a means of trying to screw me out because they didn't want to actually lose money on the product, they screwed themselves out by not realizing that, hey, the person who sold the item could easily just convince other people not to buy their product. Opportunity cost. And sure, it's a dick move. I'm an asshole for that, but they cheated on my money. Now, I doubt that anything would come of that because it's been what, almost 20 years, over 15 years since that happened. I doubt the company's is still in business. If they are, they're definitely not it is an extent to where they would care anymore. So, I mean, what they can do is sue me for not promoting their product. But anyways, I paid them back. They wouldn't give me money, so I made them lose theirs. And that was that. All's fair. Anyways, looks like we're just about finished, so we're just going to go ahead. This would save this one little save, and this will essentially take care of the mansion. And if my memory served me right, we will now be going into the underground lab. Now, I'm not going to give a hint as far as what this company is, but I will give you a hint on what the image is. Their image was, the color images were red and white. If you can look back maybe around the turn of the decade and see what computer companies were living at the time that the colors came of red and white, you might possibly find out which company I screwed out of their pocket money or their margins. How many products I sold between Malibu? I don't know, and I really don't care. I mean, money rebate's money rebate. $5 is $5. Pay what you owe.